What is going on, YouTube? We are just getting started with an Amazon FBA Q&A. We got the TikTok live right here. If we get to 2K likes and 20 shares today, we will go over how to create PPC ad campaigns. 33 reviews, 4.5 star rating. Awesome, Mibu. So I hope I'm saying that right, but awesome. So you're doing decent on the reviews there. So usually I will criticize when people are not, but I think you're solid there. Now, my next question is, how many iterations to your listing? How many optimizations have you made to your listing? Or have you only used your first version? I want to learn. You're in the right place to learn. This is an Amazon FBA private label Q&A. Any questions that you guys have about selling on Amazon, you guys can drop them in the chat. I don't gatekeep any information, and I'm quite transparent about 99.9% of stuff. The 0.1% of things that I'm not transparent about is I don't share my products or brands that I sell. It makes, there's no positive. It's funny, my lady asked me the other day, she's like, why don't you tell people about the products that you sell on Amazon? I was like, because in a bunch of videos, I'm like, this is how much I make on Amazon. Look how much this product makes on Amazon. And I was like, these people would just take my products. I was like, we create brand pages and we'll make content for our brand pages, but nobody knows, like, if this isn't my brand, I'm just using it as an example. I would never show you guys, but let's say my brand was Altura. We'd make an Altura page and we'd make content about the product, but you would never see me in that content. So my personal brand and my physical brands are two separate entities. We were looking, oh, let me charge my laptop so it doesn't go out of battery. There we go. We're working on 3D content. We are live with the first version till now. So that's the biggest thing right there. You have to start making optimizations to your listing. I don't know if you saw the video that I posted last week or so, where I'm documenting the journey taking a brand new Amazon seller account from $0 to $1 million in sales. I showed 8K in sales from June 1st to June 12th, I believe. And I was telling people, because it was a little bit of time before I had made an update in that series, but I was telling people we launched the product, we pushed for initial reviews, we had our first version of the listing, we started running ads, and the product was not converting well. So we didn't continuously spend on PPC ads, because then we would be at this huge loss. I'm assuming you have around 30% profit margins. You're running a 43% tacos. You're probably at about a 10% loss right now. It doesn't do you any good to just be like, nobody, like these sales would mean nothing if we were taking a 10, and I'm not trying to, I come off a little strong, so excuse me. But these sales would mean nothing if we were at a 10% loss, right? But this account runs at a 40% profit margin after PPC ads, after returns, after FBA fees. Revenue matters. I'm the guy who will argue this till the day I go. Revenue matters, because how else do you get profit if you don't have revenue? But at the end of the day, revenue does not matter as much as profits. So I'm not going to just keep losing money continuously. I need to make optimizations in order to make money, in order to convert well, in order for my product to be profitable. So you need to be going in, making bid optimizations to your PPC ad campaigns. You need to go and optimize your listing. The two biggest things that I see help with conversion are the main image and your reviews. You have a decent amount of reviews, but it doesn't hurt to push for more. And then you're optimizing your main image. How about this? Because you guys let me know. When we get to our like and share goal, because we're about to get to the like goal, we still got to get to the 30 share or the 20 shares. As soon as we do that, we'll either go over PPC strategy, or we'll go over listing optimization. We're thinking of going to FBM to maximize our profits. FBA is too costly. You are going to learn very quickly that that is not the case, Mibu, because number one, if you're not converting good FBA, you're gonna convert even worse with FBM. Conversion is not good with FBM, because Think about it like this. Has anybody here ever went to go buy a product on Amazon, and let's say that you have Prime, you pay for Prime, $100+ a year, and you look and you want the product to arrive in 2 days. So today's the 25th, and at least Pacific Standard Time, it's the 25th. So today's the 25th, and if you see that there's a product that's going to arrive July 10, are you going to buy that product, or are you going to buy the product that's going to arrive in 2 days? We live in a very consumerism culture. So people want these products fast. I know how the game works, and I still won't buy a product that's not Prime. Unless it's like the only product, like unless it's like a big, not really buying furniture on Amazon, but like, for example, my mom bought a massage chair on Amazon. Obviously, that's not going to get to you in 2 days, but that's all right. So you'll actually probably do more bad to the listing and to your product than good by going to FBA. Not to mention, you still have to pay for shipping. You still have to account in your time when you're doing FBA. Actually, I want to do this. We're gonna do product research, but I want to do this to show you guys, because it's a really big misconception of people thinking that FBM is better than FBA. And it genuinely is not. Yeah, you have to handle customer service yourself. Like there's no world that I would live in where I would do FBA. And then, no, I guess that's not too relevant. I was going to say something else, but it's not too relevant. So let me show you guys something. Let me fill this out first, and then I'll show you, just to save some time. Not FBA is the way for sure, 100%. If you go FBM, get ready for safety claims and handling all customer service yourself, 100%. So I'm going to show you guys something here. Let's do $9.99. Oops, no, $49.99. I'll give you an example. My products cost $230 and I'm selling it for $9.99. That's going to be even. No, what? No. Let's say that your product was this big. Now, you said pounds or whatever. I think that's pounds, right? So I don't know the shipping rates off the top of my head overseas. If I calculate every cost in 10% tacos, no profit, euros. Okay, thanks, euros. Well, what's your profit margin before? Because this just goes onto my points that I've made before. You got to calculate your margins before. This is also why I don't sell low ticket items like that anymore. But let me show you. This is going to be a little bit different of an example because it's not as big of a product as you have. I don't know why the revenue calculator like almost never works nowadays. Amazon needs to fix this. It just might not work. I wanted to show you guys an example, but I also don't want to keep refreshing it to fill it out every time. This sucks. It's always fun showing this, but Amazon literally is the worst with this. I don't know why they do this. Hold on. Let me try to make it work. If it doesn't work, it is what it is. But show you guys why FBM almost never makes sense. $FBA, $1.59 VAT. I mean, that's another thing. You're paying VAT when honestly, realistically, you should have sold in the US market. The UK market is number 3 still. There it is. It's working. Okay. So let me show you guys this. Oh, I put the price wrong. Darn it. Hopefully this doesn't. Of course. Hold on. I got it to work, but then I put in the wrong information and now it's not working again. So sick. That's annoying. Okay, maybe just for time's sake, I'm not going to keep doing this. But yeah, you got to account for all these costs. So if I PPC, I lose. Yeah, but again, I'm going to show you something. Wait, what? You don't pay VAT in the US. We pay 19% in Germany. Well, we do have the 55% tariffs now, but there are the tariffs have not affected me in the way that a lot of people think, because I'm not paying 55% to that degree. Really, at the end of the day, my shipping cost goes up a little bit. Outside of that, I'm not paying this, huge portion where I'm losing margins. My margins have either stayed the same or maybe they go down like a couple percent. Oh my gosh. All right. My example is not going to work because the FBA fee calculator. Oh, just kidding. It's working. There we go. Okay, let me show you guys this. Let me share the screen to YT so that people can see the recording of that. And then let's turn my phone on Do Not Disturb, my laptop, and we'll get into it. So let me show you guys why FBA always makes sense and FBM. Oh, flashbang. You guys see when it gets like super bright like that? Oh my gosh, I did it again. And let me show you. Okay. So here we have, let me also clean my camera so that we can see better. All right. So here we have a product, 13 inches by 9 inches by 9 inches by 3.85 pounds, home and kitchen, selling for $54.99. Okay. Now, what are our FBA fees? We have our Amazon referral fee, 15%. Everybody's going to pay that. And then we have our fulfillment cost. This is for Amazon to pick, pack, ship my order to the customer. Then you also have these storage fees. All right. Now, let's actually also do, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, that's so annoying. See, this is the thing I get. Oh my gosh, that's super annoying. Shout out Amazon. I'm actually no longer a fan of the revenue calculator. I think this happens, maybe if I clear my cookies. Let me do that. Actually. Let's try that. I don't like the Helium 10 calculator as much, if I'm being honest with you, brother. I really do like the Amazon one. Let me try one more time. I'm not going to touch anything if I make it work this time. I'm just going to show you guys, because the margins would actually be a little bit more because we would do the Amazon split option. We're going to try one more time. And if it doesn't work, we're going to give up on that. And we're just going to move on to PPC. There it is. Okay, we're not going to touch anything this time. We're just keep in mind the margins would be a little bit more because we would not have the inbound placement fee. I'm not going to touch anything. Okay? Okay, let's flip the camera around. All right. So for a product like this, you have to keep in mind the dimensions and you have to keep in mind the weight. Everybody's like FBA fees, FBA fees, FBA fees. Okay. Everybody's going to pay this fee. Whether you do FBA or FBM, you will pay this fee, the 15%. Now we have our fulfillment cost and we have our storage cost. I really want to click this, but I don't want to mess it up. But keep in mind the margins would actually be more because this is showing that we have an inbound placement fee, which we would not actually have the inbound placement fee because I would do the Amazon split option. We have our cost of goods. We have our shipping here. All right. $18, 33% margins. This is another thing. You guys always need to calculate this before ever placing a bulk order. If you don't see 30% margins, you either need to renegotiate, get different shipping quotes, or find a new product. I will not launch a product under 30% margins pre-PPC. Now, a lot of people think that, let's actually put in our, we got our cost of goods. So a lot of people will think that, oh man, FB or FBM. So this is our FBM calculator. If we were going to send the units ourselves. Sava, thank you so much for the follow. So everyone's like, oh man, 61% margins. I'm going to make way more money. Well, let's break it down. So although we do not have our fulfillment cost, you still have to store the product. So are you going to store all the products at home? Cool. You better have extra space. If you don't have extra space, you have to pay for storage somewhere. So we'd have to add that into the cost. You also have to pay for shipping for the product. So a product like this, and again, Mibu, I don't know what the shipping rates are down in Germany, but in the US, a product like this, if I was sending it just, if I was sending it first class where it's going to arrive in a few days, it's going to be even more expensive. But a product like this is likely going to cost me at least $10 to ship. And that's with a week. I think it would probably cost, because I'm trying to think, the mailers are like $10 now. And that's for a small product. The mailers aren't going to, in Germany, customer pay the extra shipping. It's not included. Well, I'm still going to break it down here, especially for the US folks. All right. So you still have to pay for the shipping. And also, that's also why that's going to turn a lot of people off. If I pay for Prime and I have your product versus somebody else's product who is Prime, why would I pay for Prime and for shipping? That's going to significantly lower your conversion rate. That's something that you have to understand. User 80, thank you so much for the follow. So we think, oh man, FBA, it has 60% margins. Well, a product like this, like I said, is going to cost at least $10, $12, maybe $15 to ship. If you're talking 12 or 15, that's literally the FBA fees. And this is for Amazon to store your product, to pick, pack, label, and ship it to the customer. And it's going to arrive within 2 days. But over here, you still have to pay for the shipping. You still have to pay for the labels. You still have to store the product. So again, if you have a bunch of units, where are you going to store them realistically? If you don't have the space, you have to rent storage. And how much do you guys value your time, right? I mean, at the point that I'm at, I value my time at over $1,000 an hour. Now, if you're just starting out, even then, if you value your time at $20 an hour, me sitting and picking and packing and shipping and labeling orders does not make up the difference. Let's say it was only $10 to ship the product. Our FBA fees, fulfillment cost, is $12.65. That $2.65 difference is not worth my time to just go and do FBA. I would rather Amazon do the work. Now, I also have such a strong opinion about this because I used to work for my cousins. They did also, what up, Jay? Good to see you, my guy. I used to work for my cousins. They did private label, but they did things differently. They had a warehouse. They had employees. I was one of their employees at one point. And I vowed to myself that I would never want to sit there and have to have a warehouse, have to deal with employees, have to ever use a pallet jack again in my life, because I value my time. I didn't want to be cooped up at some warehouse all day. They were shipping products. Did they keep the warehouse? They still have it. They still have it. They're successful Amazon sellers, but they do private label differently. So like, let's just use this for example, actually. So let's say that they were going to sell screen cleaner. They would get the bottles manufactured. They would get the liquid manufactured, and they'd have like the filling machines and everything, and they would fill this up, pack it, put it in a box, put the labels on, do the whole nine. And then they would ship that product to Amazon's fulfillment centers. I did not like it. Texting my cousin, because one of my cousins was my mentor. Cool little story, by the way. They're actually going through my course right now because I had audited their account and I saw some things that they can do differently. I was like, can I just give you guys access to the course and you go through it? And so he's been going through it. So let me see. So him and I were texting about some issues that they were having down at the warehouse. And I responded to him back. I'm going to read you guys the text. I said, it's funny because working at the shop was the reason why I do things the way that I do in my business now. And I was talking, for example, I will never have a warehouse. I will never pay somebody based on hourly work, only a completed task. And I will never ship out products myself. And he was like, yeah, amen to that. Because he even sees how much of a headache that can be. Amazon charged customer shipping extra, but charging us 20% FBA fee. That's why I'm not getting it, because they do all the work. Think about it. You are going to spend your time picking, packing, and shipping orders. If you're sitting there packing orders all day, what time do you have to actually scale your business? It really does not make any sense, in my opinion. So the FBA prayer, amen. FBA all day, every day, son. I would never do any other business model in terms of Amazon. I would never, even with our other like TikTok shop and stuff like that, Shopify orders, we don't touch that stuff. We don't touch packing orders and picking orders. It's not the business. It's not the business at all. How many items to sell to at a profit? I don't know what you just said right there, KB. Now we did get to the like and share goal, so let's go over some PPC methods right now. And again, Mibu, just circling back one more thing. You got to make sure that you're calculating your orders. Are you in Walmart as well through Amazon? We do Walmart. We do fulfilled by Walmart. So kind of like Amazon, where we send in our products and stuff like that. I don't like Walmart as a platform. It is not for me at all. Even though we do have our products there, but we really only have our products there for omnipresence. Omnipresence being everywhere. Amazon, TikTok shop, our own Shopify store, social media, Walmart online. Because that's how you create a behemoth of a brand. It says my inventory was stranded. Can I just relist? No, you don't want to relist the product. You need to use the same listing. How to find profitable products. I have a lot of videos on product research on my page. Sometimes on the live we do product research, but today, let's do a vote actually. So first 1 to 3 comments. Do we do product research or do we go over PPC ad strategy? First 1 to 3 comments. I already have 1 comment for PPC. That's my guy Sheep. So first 1 to 3. So PPC has 2. PPC 1 isn't an option, and that's 3 for PPC. All right. So we're going to go over some PPC strategies right now. We're going to pull up, and we're going to do a different method than we did. It says stranded due to listing error, then fix the listing error. You don't just make a new listing and think that that's going to be the solution. You fix the issue. So yeah, optimize your listing. Really as simple as that at the end of the day. When you click edit listing, Amazon will tell you, Amazon will tell you exactly what's wrong with the listing. So you would just go through that process. So let's do some PPC strategies right now. Let's think of a product together. It has to be a saturated product. I'm not about to do a whole PPC strategy for one of your guys' products. So let's think of a saturated market together. Are you close with KP? I wouldn't call us close, but him and I are friends. Cool dude. I know him. Water bottle. We did water bottles yesterday. So let's do a new one. Let's keep it fresh just so we don't get fatigued from the people who are in the lives every day. And we're also going to show a different method. So we did water bottles the other day. Let's do another one, shall we? You guys think of the method. Gummies, that's a good one. I like that. What kind of gummies should we do? Like apple cider vinegar? No. What kind of gummies? What should we do? Artificial flowers? No, we're not going to do that. Creatine. I like that one. Actually, I like that one. Creatine. Let's do creatine. I like that one a lot. Let's do creatine. This is a market I would never sell in. I'd feel bad if anybody went and launched in this market. So we'll use that one. So I'm going to show you guys here in a second. So we're going to use the Cerebro method today using helium-10. But the other day we did the magnet tool. By the way, before we start, usually I do this after we start, shameless plug. I have never seen anybody who goes over PPC as in-depth as I do, you guys. Literally not on YouTube, not on TikTok, not in other people's courses or mentorships or anything like that. Now, what we're going over is somewhat what I would call the basics. So don't think this is the most in-depth thing. But can I get brand registered without a product launch? Yes, you can. Leo, brother, didn't you spend like thousands of dollars for a different mentorship? Shouldn't you know the answer to that, my guy? Come on. But yes, you can, brother. Yes, you can. All right, so here we are. We're on the page creatine. I only said it like that just because I think bro came into the live one day just to randomly tell me he joined somebody else's program. But anyways, so here we are on creatine. Bro, my first product got taken down, is no longer sellable. Why is that, brother? All right. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. So with this method, that's where we went wrong. I do agree. Jacob, one of the AMZ Masterclass mentorship students. God bless you, brother. In the Harvard of Amazon FBA private label education. Don't you forget it. So first thing that we're going to do, policy change and can't sell the product. Yeah, I mean, that does happen. I know there's some certain ways around it, but you'd essentially have to show that it was not a product, or it wasn't that product somehow. Like I actually have, I was actually just speaking with somebody, and I don't want to say his product, but he launched a product that's not allowed on Amazon, but there's a lot of sellers who market it differently on Amazon, use different keywords and stuff like that. And so had given him some advice on how to kind of get around it, not to be malicious or anything, but all right. So let me walk you guys through the steps. We're going to be using, I looked on Amazon and saw that all similar products were taken down to all products, or do you see other products that are there as well? So we're going to be using our Cerebro tool from helium-10. But before we do that, we're going to come over here to Amazon. Mr. 161, thank you so much for the follow. Before we do that, how do I deal with competition? Competition is not a bad thing, brother. Everything in life has competition. From you going to apply for a job, to you playing a sport, to you applying for college. You differentiate your product. You add value to the competition. There were different variations because they use different method. Oh, I already know what product you're talking about. It's funny. Not funny that that happened to you. Just funny that I knew what it was. So what we're going to do, Yaranka, thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. I know, but some people sell it for way too low. I'm not competing on price, brother. I never compete on price. If you compete on price, you'll always lose. Let me show you. Just in this market alone, you have people who sell for $49.99, but you have people who sell creatine for $9. I'm not trying to compete on price. There will always be somebody who beats me, but I don't want to sell creatine for $9. I want to sell creatine for these prices, $30 and above. So that's why you got to add value to the competition. So we're going to organize this by parent level revenue, most revenue to least. And we're going, if you knew what I was talking about, do you know a way around? Potentially, but not things that I'd want to talk about on the live, to be honest with you. And I don't mean to say that to gatekeep information, brother, but it's like very gray area and stuff like that. So, all right. So now we're going to come to our Cerebro tool. We're going to start copying these ASINs here. Okay. And we're going to input, you guys can input up to 10 ASINs. We're going to take our top competitors. So our top creatine competitors, right? We're going to copy their ASINs and we're going to drop them into our Cerebro tool. You guys can do up to 10 Make sure you guys take the ones that are relevant to your product. So we'll do 5 just for time's sake. But I do recommend taking the 10 most relevant and the ones who are selling the most. So we got 4 here. And let's get our 5th one here. Actually, I guess we could do a couple more. We won't do all 10, but let's do a couple more. Oh, wait. Sorry, YouTube. You guys can only see the Amazon page. It would be way too much to go back and forth, but you guys will see. It's fine. I'm just going to try to launch a new product. Nice, brother. That's the mindset to have. You just you keep pushing through. That's how you beat adversity. All right. So here we go. And let me share this tab too. So just so you guys can now see YT, we now have all of our ASINs input. This is Helium 10. And we're going to select get keywords. And we're going to let that load. Always takes a minute to load here. I may have to run and get a charger because I'm using this charger for the YT camera. Also, YT, say what up to TikTok. TikTok, say what up to YT. While this is loading, shameless plug. If you guys want the most in-depth guide on Amazon PPC ads out there, I would check out the AMZ Masterclass Mentorship. I've had students join from every single program that you guys can find, and I have not had one student, literally I have not had one student tell me that this was not the most in-depth PPC ad guide that they have found on the internet, on TikTok, in another mentorship, or on YouTube. All 3, the trifecta, baby. That in it, I mean, that doesn't even include everything else that's in the program, but that in itself, I think, is worth the program cost. All right, so kind of like anyone who was here when we were doing the magnet tool, user 21, thank you so much for the follow. You're going to see we have a bunch of keywords here, okay? But this was just a little bit different. Instead of us searching creatine in the magnet tool, we have, there we go. Instead of us searching creatine in the magnet tool, we took the ASINs from top competitors. Can I join and ask to just get PPC part alone? Yes, you can, bro. You have to do TOS 900% to make the algorithm work when you launch, so that you make Amazon learn. No, you don't, bro. What are you talking about? Are you asking or saying that as like that's what the strategy is, Grind? Before I go really hard on this point, I know, are you asking or are you saying that that's what you should do? Because if you're asking, that's one thing. If you're saying that's what you should do, I'm about to go on a rant, my guy. Something tells me, actually, yeah, we'll just keep going. He's saying, okay, so this is a great point. I'm going to pause and bring this up. This is a great point when I say who and how you learn Amazon PPC ads. He said no rant, just PPC. All right, it'll be 1 minute. But who and how you learn PPC ads from is the difference between you making money, spending 300, making 1,000, or spending 1,000, making 300. That is literally the worst point of view on PPC that I've ever heard. Grind, something tells me, bro, that you're a PPC manager who only manages people's PPC and don't actually launch products on Amazon. I've launched over 40 plus products on Amazon. Literally have never done that. The strategy that I use is very, very in-depth, rinse and repeat process that I use for every single one of my accounts. If you're actually recommending people to use 900% on top of search, that is an absolutely terrible strategy, bro. Also, if you actually sell on Amazon, you know that Amazon's algorithm is the most in-depth on, no, bro, that's like, you're talking like 2018 strategies before I even started selling. This is like the kind of YouTube videos that I would watch in like 2019. Sounds like you're going to blow your money in a day. Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's an old strategy. Have like 10% bids or 10-cent bids and do 900% top of search. But people don't understand how Amazon, this is what I'm saying. People don't understand how Amazon ads actually works. I can start a brand new campaign on a brand new product and get every single one of my clicks to top of search without going anywhere near a 900% top of search modifier. Respectfully, brother, not a good strategy. You should not recommend that to people. because you're going to make a lot of people lose on PPC ads, just straight up. All right, done with the rant. We're not even going to spend any more time on that. We're going to just go to the PPC strategy. But that just mind blown right there. We're going to organize this by most search volume to least. Now, something that you guys are going to notice, whether you're using the magnet tool, whether you're using Cerebro. I don't sell anything, fam. I'm just talking about a strategy that I did. I'm talking about selling if you actually sold products on Amazon, bro. That's for sure that, okay, yeah, we're good there. Again, not a good strategy, but I'll keep going on a rant so you can just sit and watch. I didn't block them or anything, but I just don't want to go on rants because I know that there's more people in here who want to actually learn how to do this. Sounds like you're gonna blow your money in a day. Yeah, can you make a couple videos how to work Helium 10? I have lots of videos on how to do that, Joshua. But if you go leave a comment on one of my videos on something specific, yes, I can make a video response to that. All right. So you guys are going to notice on this keyword list that there's going to be a lot of keywords that are not relevant to your product. Okay. Like protein powder, hydro jug. We're going to skip through all of that stuff. Okay. But we're going to start compiling a keyword list of the most relevant. I'm going to rest my phone right here so I don't have to hold it up. We're going to compile a keyword list of our most relevant and high search volume keywords. I actually might have to go get a charger because we're at 7%. Hold on. I'm still here, y'all. I'm pulling up a document. I just don't want to dox my documents that I have. Okay. So here we are. It's, boop, 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 boop. Ariel, thank you so much for the follow. If we get to like 4%, I'm going to run down and get a charger because my charger that I usually have up here is connected to the camera for the YT Live. So let's start compiling a list of relevant keywords that have high search volume. So obviously creatine, that's going to be our main keyword. Please get the charger. Do you guys want me to get it right now? I could run and grab it now. All right, so keywords. Yeah, I am notorious for my phone going out of battery on live. So hold on. Give me a second. I will run down, get the charger. Let me see. Okay, yeah, I'll run down, get the charger. Hold on. Hold on, I'm back, but give me 1 sec. Gotta get my power up here. All right. Eagle, thank you or Idris Eagle, thank you so much for the follow. Oh, we're already at 6%. And now we're charged. Let's go. Everything from Alibaba is expensive. You got to negotiate, brother. Also use 1688 to reference pricing. I just had a student show me that the 1688 price was like $4, but manufacturers were trying to charge him like $6 now, but I will show that in a second. So we got creatine. We got creatine monohydrate. So we'll add that to our keyword list. So we're going to compile a list of like 3 to 5 keywords. Let's rest this right here. that are relevant to our product. We have creatine gummies. Oh, I got to do a puzzle to stay on live. So we have electrolytes, TMG supplements. We don't want anything broad. So we're going to just find, so creatine for women, I think that could be a good keyword. So we'll add that in there too. Let's keep going. Thorn creatine, I believe this is a brand name. Yeah, this is a brand name, so we don't want to put a brand name in there. Collagen powder, protein powder, we don't want any of that. Clear protein powder, nope, we don't want that either. We'll go to the next page. And this is based on search volume and relevancy, okay? Creatine, that's probably a brand name. Creatine powder. So our three main keywords, actually, we're going to put this one above here. Our three main keywords are going to be creatine monohydrate, and creatine powder. Those will probably be the three different keywords for our PPC ads. Let's see if we can find one or two more. We don't want brand names. So if there's like NutriCost creatine, we don't want to add that into our keyword list. So let's go to page 3. If we can't find anything else in the next couple pages, I honestly think, especially because the search volume is so high and those are such good keywords, that we can get away with just those 3. We don't need a whole list of 30. Casein, powder, creatine. No, that's a brand name, and that's gummies. Creatina. This one's interesting. Hold on. This one's actually interesting. I'm going to add this one too. So we'll add this one here. In Spanish, yes. Yeah, especially because it has 23,000 search volume. So I think that's a really interesting one to have. It's very search product. Creatine pills. If you have a powder form, you don't want creatine pills as a keyword. If you have a powder form, you do not want creatine gummies as a keyword. So we'll look at one more page, but honestly, for this one, I think that we're good. Now, if this was a product that I was selling, I would go through until the search volume was like below 2,000. I would just keep going through the pages. But we only really need 3 to 5 keywords. Like Naked Creatine, that's a brand name. NutriCost Creatine, that's a brand. We don't want those. Let's see if we find creatine HCl. Is that? I'm not a creatine expert. HCl. Just for the lack of me not knowing, we might not add that. Oh, here's our other one. Boom. Creatine. How do you know brand ones is different from monohydrate? Okay, cool. Thank you. I use creatine, but I use creatine monohydrate. I don't know too much outside of that about it. You can tell what the brand names are. I've seen, I know the brand NutriCost, and you could just tell, like Naked Creatine, that's not an actual keyword. That's going to be somebody's brand. I might be, oh, nice, sweet. Were you the one who recommended it? You're cheating, huh? You got me there. It's okay. No way to search. No, there is a way to search it. You can go to Amazon and search the brand name, or go on Google and search the brand name. Not specific creatine, but a type. Gotcha. Okay. So we're going to actually have these as our 4 keywords. All right. Now let me just stop sharing the screen to YT, and then share this document with YT, and let's expand this page so that we can all see. All right. Now we have our keyword list. We only want a few keywords at the beginning. Our main keywords, I think this is spot on. All right. Creatine powder, creatine monohydrate powder. These two are solid. If we really wanted to add a fifth, we would probably add creatina, but we'll keep this on the back burner. Now, how I set up my campaigns is we're going to have 3 different campaign types, or 4 different campaign types. We're going to have broad match. I don't know why that's blue, but it actually kind of works out. Broad match. We're going to have phrase match, and we're going to have exact match. And then we're also going to have an auto campaign. What a lot of people make the mistake of doing is they'll only run an auto campaign. I don't agree with that strategy. Or another mistake that people will make is they'll put broad, phrase, and exact all in one campaign. You shouldn't do that. They all have different goals. They all work differently. So what we're going to do, and actually let's explain these different ones. So let's use creatine monohydrate powder as an example. So this keyword in broad match might show like, I'm going to make up a keyword. It might not actually be a search term, but it might be monohydrate monohydrate creatine powder for men, right? Kind of change the order, show different keywords in there. If we had this keyword for broad, it would maintain this phrase and it would only put keywords before and keywords after. So maybe it's creatine monohydrate powder for men or for women. So it'll only put things after or before, but it's going to maintain this phrase. Exact is going to be exactly what we have here. It may show the plurals as well. All right. So they all work differently. So what we're going to do is we have our list of 3 to 5 keywords. In this case, we're in the sweet spot in the middle. And we're going to use the exact same keywords for all match types. So we're going to have a broad campaign with these 4 keywords. We're going to have a phrase campaign with these keywords. And we are going to have an exact match campaign with these keywords. Now, I'm going to start with conservative bids and conservative budgets. I can't hold this while I'm doing it. We're at 16%, so I think we'll be good. So I'm going to set this up here real quick. So I usually start with like a 10 to 20 for the budget, 10 to 20 for the budget, and then we have 10 to 20 for the budget. Now let's say that the bid range, let's change our color here. Let's say that the bid range, what color did we just use? Where'd that color go? I don't know, but we'll use a different color. We'll use red. So let's say that our bid range for one of these keywords, right, was, I mean, this is going to be super high because it's a supplement. So let's be a little realistic. Say it was $2 to $4. Okay. You just heard that guy say, what if the CPC is $5? That's why I don't launch products like this, to be honest with you, brother. But let's say that we had a $2 to $4 cost per click. We're not going to bid the highest. We're not trying to go $100 budget, $5 cost per click. Like, no. We're trying to collect data. This is the mistake that too many people make when running PPC ads. This is why I went on the rant with that dude who was giving a strategy that I thought was so incorrect. We want to simply start getting clicks and sales, but if we're not getting sales, we want to see how our conversion is. So let's take it a step further. Let's go here. Boom. I'm going to set the phone back up. There we go. So let's say that we had 25 clicks and 1 sale. I would know that my conversion is not good. This is what my product is. It's the main keyword for my product. If I'm not converting well on this keyword, I'm probably not going to convert on a lot of keywords. So in this case, I would know that I'm not going to just keep spending because the conversion is not going to change unless you make something different, like to the reviews or the listing. So when you double the amount of clicks, people think, let me spend more. So if I get 50 clicks, still only going to get 2 sales or so with this kind of conversion rate. It's not going to just magically go to 50 clicks and then 10 sales. That's not how Amazon PPC ads works. So you'll probably have, maybe 2 to 3 sales from those 50 clicks, and you're going to be able to know how you convert within the first 20 clicks. Okay? And so we want to get proof of concept here. Now, if your listing is not performing, or if you're not converting well, you would want to optimize your main image, your reviews. These are the top 2 for me, so we'll put little stars here. Pushing for more reviews, and then I'm going to rank them. So main image, reviews, these are both number 1, tied for number 1. And then number 2, title. If you are brand registered, I would say number 3, A+ content. Oops, there we go. If you were not, and then we're going to put bullet points. If you were not brand registered, I'd put description after. Okay? These are the things that you need to make. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, I actually messed this up. Reviews. We're going to actually put infographics. I forgot. We're just talking main image. I'm just talking main image tied for number 1. Then infographics, title, A+ content, bullet points. If not brand registered, then your description. Now, we also have our auto campaign. Now, auto is going to have close match, loose match. So I can't see my... There we go. Substitutes and complements. All right. 4 different match types. Just like we're not putting broad, phrase, and auto all in one campaign, I don't need to have close, loose, match, and substitutes and complements all in one campaign. They perform differently. Close match is going to show keywords that are closely related to your product. Loose match is going to show keywords that are loosely related to your product, maybe something like supplement. Substitutes is going to show product targets that can be substituted for your product, like other competitors. And complements is going to show products that complement your product, maybe show protein powder or something like that. So what I would do here is if you just wanted to target keywords, we would have close and loose match. If we wanted to target product targets, we would have substitutes and complements. The thing is, if you really wanted to dial it in, you would do 1 close match auto campaign, 1 loose match auto campaign, 1 substitutes auto campaign, and 1 complements. So if you divide your auto, would you then put $5 budget each? No, I honestly don't even start with substitutes and complements until I start to get some conversions, because I'm trying to do like keyword mining, find new keywords to start putting into my campaigns. So generally what I'll do is maybe throw close match and loose match into the same one. And then usually it always works out like this. Close match is the one that converts best for me. And then I'll turn off loose match. And then I'll recircle back to these 3 match types later on. And that is, if this was my product, how I would set up my campaigns. One more thing. Let me just do this. One more thing. Same thing with our auto campaign. I'm probably going to start with like a 10 to 20 budget. Okay. Now, let me, hold on. I'm still here. Hold up. Yo, what point in the YT chat? Let's do this. Now, we just gave over an hour of straight value, so you guys already know what I gotta do. Shameless plug. If you guys want the most in-depth guide on PPC ads out there, that was just the tip of the iceberg. I would go check out the AMZ Masterclass Mentorship in the TikTok bio. You guys would click, yes, I want to apply. You would go through this quick application here. And when I say it is the most in-depth guide, I genuinely mean it. I have had students join from every program that you guys can ever think of. If you've seen an Amazon seller / creator, this is the part I got to put down so I don't dox my information. If you guys have seen an Amazon seller or creator who has a mentorship, who has a course or whatever, I have had students join from their program. Now, if you qualify for the program, you will be prompted. Let me submit. You will be prompted to this page here, where you're going to be able to book a call with my team member, Adam. Adam speaks for me, an absolute all-star. He'll be able to give you information about the program and everything. And like I said, not just the most in-depth guide on PPC ads out there, direct access to me, one-on-one calls with me, my exact strategies from A to Z, 100+ in-depth videos, the listing creation service that I created. Jacob right here, one of the AMZ Masterclass mentorship students. The shipping service that I created for students, the listing creation service that I created for students, the inspection company that I created for students. It is a full that's why I don't even call it a course. It is a full ecosystem for Amazon sellers. Everything from A to Z. You're going to ship a product, we got you. You're going to create a listing, we got you. You need to run PPC ads, we got you. You have a question, and at any time that maybe the answer to isn't on YT or TikTok, because there are some of those nuanced questions, we got you. You need your account audited, we got you. You have a question about how you should optimize your account, we got you. The Harvard of Amazon FBA private label education, and nothing comes close. And we even got, unstable connection. Yes, you need a product selected for you, we got you. We do have product selection as well based on the criteria that I use and teach. Jacob right here, the pinned comment, is an AMZ Masterclass mentorship student. So if you guys want access to that full ecosystem, head on over. We'll apply. Will you give me your products? You got me? You're funny. I will give you a product. I got you. But I hope on that note, everyone, make sure to go check out the AMZ Masterclass. Also, you need products validated? We got you. Unlimited product validations. So yes, sir, we do. But on that note, everybody, I hope you all have a blessed day, a blessed night, and God willing, I will see y'all tomorrow. Take care.